Well, the first day of Warhammer Fest, covering all things Warhammer 40,000, has wrapped up, and it certainly did not disappoint. Being the dirty heretic I am, this was very much my year for 40k releases, and I'm happy to say that the wait has been worth it. The new Chaos Possessed kit is easily the best Possessed kit they have made to date, and it looks like they have finally got them right. To my recollection, there have been 3 different Possessed kits during my time of the hobby, which have ranged from the mediocre to the downright awful. This new kit doesn't have a single bad model in it, and as was pointed out, they are all much larger than before. They stand taller than Chaos Terminators and are about equivalent to Gravis Armoured Marines in size, putting them at the same size as the Greater Possessed models, and pretty much confirms the rumours that Possessed and Greater Possessed will be one and the same thing in the new codex. We finally have Plastic Chaos Cultists again, unsurprisingly modelled after the Cultists from Blackstone Fortress. Fantastic looking models which should nicely fill the role of cheap objective scorers and chaff infantry. Special shout out to Mr. Dadbod over here who makes the case that you don't need a 6-pack to serve the Dark Gods. I'm very fond of these and plan on picking up a few as I'll be able to use them in games of 40k, Kill Team and Dark Heresy. Lovely stuff, but not as cool as the Accursed Cultist Mutants. These disgusting minions serve as the heavy hitters of the Cultist forces, and as a kit have finally solved a problem I've personally had with Chaos Mutations. Over the years, the artwork for Warhammer 40,000 has truly captured the horror of Chaos Mutations, but that's not really ever carried over to the models, where I felt the mutations have always looked a bit cartoony. With this kit here, that is no longer a concern. These models truly capture the body horror aspect that can come along with serving the Dark Gods. Sound off in the comments which one you think is the most gruesome. Personally, I think it's Elephant Foot Man. If you think that the fate, however, that has befallen these foul heretics is bad, check out the Accursed Cultist Torments. Another 3 incredible looking models, the centre one of which solves a long running Warhammer rumour engine tease. These 3 look very similar to Chaos Spawn, but are a little different, as these models represent what happens when a model gives way completely to the demonic possession within them, whereas true Chaos Spawn end up that way either for critically failing the Dark Gods, or by pleasing the Dark Gods too quickly and being unable to resist the multitude of Chaos gifts bestowed upon them, rather than anything to do with possession. Regardless, more models I will absolutely be getting, and they really inspire me to run a horror-themed Dark Heresy game in the near future. Last of the Cultist reveals was the Dark Commune, an HQ choice representing a cabal of fallen psychers that now service the Dark Gods. Of all the kits, this one perhaps screams Chaos Cult to me the loudest, especially with the very ritualistic looking sword bearers. Absolutely love these. I'll probably be including these in my 40k army, but again, my main interest for this kit is for use in Dark Heresy. It's definitely going to be a busy year for painting. The reveal was almost exclusively Chaos orientated, but we were shown the latest model for the reimagined squats, the Leagues of Votann. The Harmkin Pioneer is a reimagining of the classic squat trike, but heavily leaning into the futuristic tech side of things that the League of Votann represents. The Pioneer is part of the League's scouting forces, who roam out on their hover trikes and carry a multitude of supplies with them so that they can remain self-sufficient during their excursions. I can't but help feel that the design of this model is heavily reminiscent of the Men of Iron in its looks. The similar colour scheme is mostly just coincidence, I'm sure, but the curvature of the tech is very pre-imperial and reminiscent of the Man of Iron model from Blackstone Fortress. This stands to reason as there are rumours that the Leagues of Votann will be connected somehow to the Men of Iron. Let me know what you think in the comments. It was asked if some of the new Chaos kits would be usable by existing Chaos factions, and the answer was pretty much only if they exist as a data slate already. So things like the Cultists and Possessed should fit in your Nurgle worshipping Death Guard, for example. Speaking of Nurgle and all things toxic, they revealed the next Match Play Season Pass expansion, Warzone Nephilim. Really only relevant in my opinion to the most die-hard of competitive players who are happy to pay for expensive Season Pass books which become invalidated after 6 months, Warzone Nephilim represents the latest changes to the match play scene. The key difference this book introduces is that there are now going to be much less command points available to your forces at the start of the game, to restrict the Alpha Strike possibilities going forward. And perhaps best of all, updated points costs will not be included in this book. This is because from this release forwards, updated point values will be available online for free. This is great news for people who use points because it lessens the paying for patches problem Warhammer 40,000 has had recently. Games Workshop then proceeded to blueball us by talking about and confirming the upcoming World Eaters Codex and new models, but then declined to show us any of them except for these Chain Axe renders. It wasn't a completely pointless reveal, however, as they confirmed that yes, World Eaters will not be in the new Chaos Space Marine Codex, but will receive Get You By rules in White Dwarf, which they will use until they get their own codex release. Not massively surprising, as Games Workshop has done this before, but it's good to get some confirmation. Now, saving the best of the new models, in my opinion, to last, Games Workshop revealed that the new plastic Demon Prince kit does indeed come with parts to make a 40k Demon Prince, and it does not disappoint. It almost looks like a completely different model from the fantasy version. I absolutely adore this sculpt. This is easily the best Demon Prince model they've designed so far, absolutely trumping the current model, and it harkens back to the fondly remembered 3rd edition design. They also confirmed the kit will come with multiple heads, showing allegiance to the different Chaos Gods, which has left me in a bit of a dilemma. I love the almost Bloodthirster-like cornet head here, and I plan on running a winged Demon Prince with a Mark of Khorne, but I think I like the undivided head slightly more. It just reminds me a lot of the 3rd edition Demon Prince design, which was when I first started collecting Chaos Space Marines, and I'm a sucker for nostalgia, so I'll probably use the undivided head. Games Workshop ended today's reveals by announcing Angels of Death Origins, which is a series of short stories going into the backstory of the cast members of the Angels of Death animated show. On one hand, I couldn't but help notice the audio was off in the trailer, with the voice being noticeably out of sync with the lip animations, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say it might have been an issue with the stream instead. On the other hand, however, they announced that episodes are going to be longer, with the first of the origin stories being a decent 25 minutes long, which should address the main complaint people have had with the animated shows thus far. And, as a side bonus, they also confirmed that Angels of Death Season 2 is also in production. So that pretty much wraps up today's reveals. What did you think of the event? Admittedly, if you're not a Chaos player, there wasn't really much for you in today's show, but I think for those of us who have been waiting for a while for these kits, the wait has been well worth it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. I plan on covering the box game reveals on Friday, so hit subscribe if you'd like to be notified of when that video comes out, and I'll see you all next time.